The hardest job of all. That's what all the stay-at-home mums tell you. A thankless, payless festival of tears, greys knees and bum wiping. It's quite hard, don't get me wrong. It's tiring looking after kids. And expensive and annoying. But mostly it's boring. Deadly boring. I personally find that after 6 months of maternity leave, I couldn't wait to get back to work and spend time with actual adults. No more Barney the bloody dinosaur or pretending I wanted to play crappy board games. I could talk about politics or telly or even the sudden weather. It was great to feel like a real adult again. I did love the kids. They're annoying, but I love them. There was something very sweet about the way they loved me unconditionally. Even when I was angry and unreasonable with them. Even when I just shouted and shouted at them just for being children. That never made me feel very good about myself. It's not okay to be crap to kids. Which is an ironic statement considering what I've done. If you're familiar with Euripides' play Medea, then this is all down to my husband being a bastard, buggering off with a younger model and leaving me to be mother to his kids. This isn't like that though. I haven't done what I've done to hurt him or destroy the one thing he held most dear. Which is mainly because he's already dead. Nothing spectacular. Just a heart attack in his sleep, I think. Admittedly, he was quite young. But he smoked and drank and worked too hard. Not uncommon. It was a bit of a shock though, waking up and find yourself next to a corpse. I actually knew he was dead before I even opened my eyes. I brushed against his arm and it felt cold. Too cold. I just lay there hoping I'd touch something else or he'd already got out of bed and replaced himself with a selection of meat from the fridge. The kids had come in and I told them, "Daddy's asleep." They did their usual irritating bedbound sit and went off to the TV. I couldn't bring myself to touch him again, so I just got out of bed and made a cup of tea in the kitchen. I made a potful like I always do. I got out 2 cups and I poured both. I thought, if he's alive, he'll want a cup of tea. If he's dead, I'll want 2 cups. Honey, what do you think in these situations? When I entered the room again, I realised I hadn't actually looked at him yet. His eyes were closed, but he was pale. I've been told before that dead people really do look dead, not like they're sleeping at all. And it's true. There's no mistaking it. I sat on the edge of the bed and I drank both cups of tea. I had to touch him sometime, I knew, so I went for the armpit in the end. It's a strange place to choose, I'll grant you. But my thinking was it would be one of the last places to stay warm so I could see how dead he really was. See, I've always seen death as a 2-stage thing. Stage 1 is where your heart stops, and stage 2 is where your brain is dead. He still had some warmth, and maybe stage 2 hadn't completely finished yet. The armpit was cold. All signs of life had gone. I sat there for a really long time. I even considered reading a chapter of my book. I just had no idea what I was going to do. At that moment, I was the only one who knew. As far as the world was concerned, absolutely nothing had changed. It was Saturday, so none of his work colleagues would have missed him yet. No one had rung to speak to him, and even the light on his phone that said he got a text message wasn't flashing. Literally, no one had a clue he'd ceased to exist. So I decided to keep it that way. At least for me. I decided I couldn't deal with the shocked faces, the he's in a better place now analogies, the popping round to see if I was okay. I just wasn't doing it. Now that's obviously easier said than done. Come Monday morning, his work colleagues would start calling up and asking questions. His mum usually rang on Sundays just to see how everyone was. And to be honest, the kids would know just as soon as they got bored of whatever shite they were watching, which meant that keeping it quiet was going to last all of about an hour at the most. So I ran a bath. I filled it with bubbles. And I got out all the kids' toys. We don't usually bathe them on Saturday mornings, but we've always been pretty poor at keeping a set schedule on these things, so they didn't ask any questions. They're still just small enough to fit in the bath together. But it always leads to fighting and arguments. So I washed the hair and just sat and watched them as they played. The eldest one thinks it's really funny to make a beard out of bubbles. And the youngest one always laughs when he does this. Medea syndrome is generally regarded as the phenomenon of a female parent killing her children as a means of exacting revenge on her spouse. There are loads of reported cases and people have written countless academic papers and PhD theses on the subject. I didn't kill mine out of fucking revenge though. I killed them to save them from the grief, from the moment of knowing their father had gone and would never hold them again. I killed them to protect their childhood innocence. They'd never grow up and see the cruelty of the world. I killed them out of motherly kindness. There's a poem by Seamus Heaney, the Nobel Prize winning poet, called The Early Purges. In it he describes watching kittens being drowned when he was 6 years old. I remember a line that goes, "Sure, isn't it better for them now?" For a moment of terror, they get an eternity of peace. I think it's better for my babies now. They were harder to hold down the kittens. Particularly both at the same time. But adult strength prevailed in the end. The house feels quiet. The kids are still in the bath. My husband's still in bed. I've set up a rope in the hallway. I was just tidying up before I use it. Looks like it's going to be a lovely sunny day outside. Perfect for a walk and a picnic.